Hey everyone, thanks for joining us for our SBLI E-ticket webinar. We're super excited to show you this new technology, this best of breed digital solution that we've developed with our partner, SBLI. As always, our webinars, we intend for them to be educational and informative. Hopefully they're going to help your business and helping you in running your business in a variety of ways. If you haven't already been there, we have a library of great content with recent webinars available on our YouTube channel. And we'll post a link to this video in our YouTube channel as well. And you can also find that link at the bottom of our website, www.ixn.tech. And please, just by way of housekeeping, feel free to post any questions. We'll try to answer some of those as we go along. We'll save some time at the end. And you can do that. There's a chat link at the bottom of your screen. You can click on there, post any questions you have, and we'll try to answer as many of those as we can. We'll try to keep our content to 30 minutes so you can get back to what you do best, which is selling life insurance. But just know that Lasse and I will stay on as long as we need to answer any of your questions. And by way of introduction, my name's Kevin Koger. I'm the VP of Carrier Sales here at IXN. And as I mentioned, I'm also joined here by Aboutlasse Young. He probably doesn't need much introduction.
Hello, everybody.
Aboutlasse is our Chief Revenue Officer, and he also oversees the distribution side of IXN. So thanks for joining us, Lasse.
Yeah.
Let's jump into our topic. Today, we're super excited to provide an overview for you of our e-ticket with SBLI on the IXN platform. Frankly, digitally submitting now SBLI's accelerated underwriting and other products, it's easier than ever. It's a seamless process from start to finish on our platform. I should say on our award-winning mobile app and agency life quoting platforms. And with this SBLI accelerated underwritten product, there's no in-person medical exam or fluid collection. None of that's required. Instead, you get once you've completed the ticket and submitted it, you get a telemed interview, which is conducted to complete the application. And then it can be digitally signed, accepted, and paid for entirely online by the client. So we're excited to show this to you. And before we actually start the demo, I'm going to take a second here and ask Lasse Young a couple of questions just to kind of complete our overview. So Lasse, to start with, would you mind telling us a little bit about yourself, your background, even though I think a lot of people already know you here, but just in case. And
Sure,
then
yeah.
we're particularly excited about this SBLI e-ticket.
Absolutely. So, as one of the founders of IXN, we've seen a progression of the technology over the years, and our vision for the technology was always to have an end-to-end sales solution. And so, my main role here at IXN has been being in charge of our distribution customers. So the BGAs, IMOs who are out there selling life insurance every day. And more than anything else, I hear, we want more carriers. We love your process. When we, like Kevin, like you mentioned, we've won awards for this process, and we've heard nothing but good things about our tickets process. And so what I'm really excited about this, because while we're really excited about SBLI because it's a perfect fit for this platform, the ability to do it from your phone, from anywhere, all that. It's just the next step in the evolution of our products and in making that process of selling life insurance, especially in today's landscape, more mobile, more digital, faster, and easier. So I'm really excited about that and the expansion of that to more carriers.
Oh yeah, thanks. And that kind of is a good segue to our next question, or the next question I had for you. So you've been around this industry for a while now. And so maybe if you could tell us a little bit about where we've come as an industry and your views of the life insurance selling experience today, and maybe a little bit also about what you think it's going to look like in the future.
It's interesting because a lot of, I think with everything that's going on in the world right now, a lot of people are looking at their processes and trying to look at how they can do things differently. For a long time, a majority of the business in this industry was done on paper. And it was almost required that you sat down with someone and had the stack of papers to fill out the application. And so I've seen an evolution as I've been in this industry, working towards digital submission, and more and more of a need for that. As newer agents come into our industry and start to take over, the sales, who kind of have grown up with this technology. People like me, I'm an older millennial, I'd say, but I'm still a millennial, and so there's expectations of technology, and things are moving more and more towards that. Being able to do business from anywhere, whether you're at home, you're on the golf course, or at lunch, and I really think that that's where things are going, and I don't think we're going to look back. Even after COVID, COVID has accelerated things. I think it's seen a need for, hey, look. Before, maybe there was an option to do things on paper, and so they kind of pick and chose when they wanted to do things digitally. But with COVID, it's really accelerated things, and I think for the better. I think ultimately the industry is going to be better for it, because when you start doing things via digital platforms, through things like APIs and easy to use interfaces, and that you can do on the phone or on your computer in a few minutes, rather than all this back and forth with paper and stuff, it really speeds up the process. I think we've seen an uptick in placement rates, and really ultimately it makes the life insurance buying process for the end consumer much better.
I agree. I agree with everything except you're pointing out that you're a millennial. Did you have to do that? Let's hear it for the Gen Xers out there. So, and another question for you, Lasse. At IXN, we're always digging into the data. We've seen a pretty significant uptick in digital quoting and submissions as well. Mm-hmm. And we're seeing a lot of interest from our BGAs and our agents using the IXN platform. They're wanting to make it easier, quicker. They want to sell more. And so maybe tell us why you think SBLI and other forward-thinking carrier partners are choosing to partner with IXN, and why it's happening so much right now.
Yeah, it's a great question. So, as one of the founders of IXN, I've seen the evolution of the technology, like we talked about before, and I think now we're seeing that IXN has a nice footprint in this industry. We've got quite a few distributors using the IXN platform every day. Last year we ran over 45 million quotes on the IXN platform. So, I mean, there's a lot of business being transacted. So there's that aspect of it, just that IXN is now a pretty substantial player in the space. But also, I think it's about the user experience. In the independent distribution space, there's really been a lack of good user experiences, in my opinion. As I came into this industry, I looked at a lot of the technology that's out there, and a lot of the kind of status quo technology, I think, lacks in user experience. And that's one thing that we've really focused on, or at least tried to focus on. I think if you ask most of our customers, they would say that the ease of use of the IXN platform, how slick the platform is, and how easy it is to learn is up there. And so I think probably the biggest differentiator behind IXN is our mobile solution. The idea that these agents can have this thing in their pocket, or they have this thing in their pocket that they already have, right? And we can plug everything into that process and really kind of work into their workflows, their daily routines, rather than their daily routines having to be tweaked to fit the technology. The technology fits their daily routine. I think that's why a lot of carriers are looking at IXN as like, we're this player who's focused on the user experience, the agent, and the end consumer buying experience.
Yeah, I mean, that's definitely, in my interactions with carriers over the last couple of years, that's definitely what we're hearing and seeing. It's really fun to show demos of our product and have them say, wow, that's really easy. That looks really nice. It's more like what they're used to, we are used to seeing when we go out and use, pure tech focused companies and using their products. So I
Yeah,
agree
yeah.
with
Like
you on
we kind of think of ourselves as like the Amazon or the Google of this industry, not with all the direct selling stuff, but like as far as a tech provider in our space, that's kind of how we see
that. Yeah.
ourselves. I think
Yeah. And especially with the user experience, I agree.
and I'll throw in there a little plug for our new product as well, which is our LifeDX platform, that where we're partnering with carriers to enable the industry via APIs. I think that's another reason a lot of carriers are looking at IXN as a real differentiator. Is we're trying to fix not just like a surface level solution. We're trying to really kind of digitalize the whole process and open up the industry. And I think that's really kind of helped drive the conversation with a lot of our customers. And you're part of that conversation a lot, so you're kind of seeing what people are seeing there too.
Yeah, that's been really exciting. And you know what, we'll just maybe end it at that and say, let's have another discussion, because that's a whole nother topic and we can spend a lot of time with it. But if
Yeah, if anyone's
want
interested in learning about that, just go on our YouTube channel and search LifeDX, and you can see some videos on there about that.
perfect. That's what I was just going to suggest. Thanks, Lasses. So
Yeah.
last question.
All right. Cool.
You've got your ear to the ground, and you're thinking about the industry and trends and likely changes. So what are the future of quoting, submission, underwriting processes? What do they look like? And anything in the near future you see that's going to make a big difference in selling and customer experience, making it even better?
Yeah, I think if you look at what the carriers are trying to do, I think first of all, I think that a lot of the carriers are thinking about this, and really, in our industry, a lot of it hinges on what the carriers are willing to do and what they're looking to do, because they're the product manufacturers, and so us as the tech providers can only do as much as the carriers are willing to work with us on, right? And so to an extent, as long as it involves carrier data. And so I think the future of life insurance process is going to be more of a quote, apply, bind process. And I think that lends itself really well to the mobile platform. What I mean by that is, you can go in, you can quote, you can fill out the application and then get almost an instant decision. I think that's where it's going. We're not quite there yet. Some carriers are starting to come out with products that can do more things like that. But I think this is kind of, as we get more carriers adopting good technology providers like ours and others that are out there, we're not the only game in town, so to speak, who are doing good tech. There's some other players out there. As the carriers open their minds to these processes and these technology providers who can do more than a lot of the carriers can do internally, and who want to, you'll see it move towards that process. We could talk a lot about other players coming into our space. I mean, there's always a thought of, what if Amazon came into life insurance, right? We've actually made a bet on the fact that we think that the independent broker is not going away, but they need to be empowered with better technology, and that makes that whole buying journey, the customer journey, much better. And core to that is the carriers being open to working with good APIs, with good technologies, and I think that's where it's going. And then we'll see who comes into the space. That's one thing that we're trying to do, is open up the space for more tech providers, better tech providers, who can do cool things. So shortening that sales process, there's a lot that can be done on the back end too. I see a lot going on with underwriting, accelerated underwriting, instant decisions, things like that. A lot of cool engine stuff going on. But ultimately, as far as like kind of our landscape, which is the customer journey and the buying process, I think that's where it's going. And I think everybody, or I'd say 95% of people, want that flexibility to work it into their own lifestyle, so they can do their business where and how they want.
Yeah, thanks, Lasse. I just to your point about are making the bet on, independent brokers still remaining not only a viable, but the main force in this space. And it's particularly those that are willing to adapt, because they're going to have to. There's evolution in the industry and the way people are buying insurance, and just the fact that those of you who are on this webinar, you are those guys. You're here because you're making those changes, and you're going to be the ones that are really going to succeed. And just from IXN's point of view, in particular, as far as changes and things that are coming to make things easier, watch for more of these. Literally in the coming just weeks, and then in months, you're going to see a lot more digital submission processes being made available from IXN. So watch for those coming.
Yeah, that's a good point, and that's where we really want to go. I mean, as far as what more than anything else, what we hear, and we do take into account feedback from our customers, from the brokerage space, the direct marketer space. More than anything else, they say we want more carriers with digital submission processes, and you're out there talking to the carriers every day, and I think while it's been a while since we launched our last carrier on here, when we launched Protective a year and a half ago or so, we've had a lot of great feedback. We learned a lot from that process, and we're really going to hit the ground running. So this is just the first of many to come, and this process. So excited.
Absolutely. Well, hey, Lasse, as much as we like chatting, we're a tech company. We like to show off technology. So if you wouldn't mind, and if you're ready, why don't you go ahead and walk us through the overall user experience so everyone can see and understand just how easy it is to do business with SBLI, and see this best-in-class solution.
Yeah, so you should be able to see my mobile app screen here. Am I sharing the right screen?
I see it.
Okay, perfect. All right. So let's show the tech here. So what you're seeing here, this is my actual phone screen. So I'm sharing my mobile app screen, and this is our mobile app platform. If you're not familiar with the IXN product suite, if you want to dig into any of these other features that you see here, like the ability to do push notifications or create a resource library that's available on the go, all those types of things, then feel free to reach out to us. We'll share our contact information at the end. If you're a carrier, Kevin's your guy to talk to. If you're a brokerage or IMO, distributor, really, I'm your guy. So, but let's show kind of how the process works, and I'll show you with everything with IXN, or all the tools that IXN provides. We provide them in a cross-platform manner, and what I mean by that is everything that we can do on mobile, you can usually do on desktop, and vice versa. There might be some nuances in user experience, because again, we're very focused on user experience and making sure that it's a good user experience. That's big for us. But basically, what I'm going to show you here, you can also do on our agency life quoting platform. This is our web platform. And so I'll show you some of those, but we'll start with mobile here, because I think that's really funnest way to do this. So we can do it a couple different ways. We can start it a couple different ways. We can start with a needs analysis if we want, and this takes into account things like outstanding mortgage, debts, number of children, even like their college plans, things like that. And you can put in as much or as little info as you want here to get a need. So we'll just put in a couple items here. Now you don't have to do a needs analysis in order to get a quote or do a ticket or anything like that. But it's a nice little calculator feature. So I click on calculate need, we put in a couple items. Great, my estimated coverage need is 1,357,473. I quote with this coverage amount, pops me right into the quote engine. And then I go in and start putting my customer info in here. So I put in their date of birth. I can put in their gender, tobacco use, their state, we'll just leave California. I can pop back to the calculator if I need to calculate the need, or I can actually change the face amount here. Let's say they want to do like an even 1.5 million. So we're gonna go with that. We can select what carriers we want to quote here, and you as the admin, if you're a brokerage and this is the mobile app that you're providing to your agents and staff, you can of course select which carriers are available there in that quoting process. We select the health class, so let's say we're preferred, and we select the product type. So there's, for the SBLI ticket, it's only available for term. And so we're going to do like a 20-year term. And then down here, we can add some, flat extras, riders, things like that. We click get quotes. Takes a few seconds. And here we have our quote results. From here, we can compare quotes. We can send off comparison PDFs. We can do all kinds of things. But today, what we're doing is we're focusing on SBLI, right? So you can see it has, the SBLI ticket has this little lightning bolt available up here in the top right corner. That means it's a drop ticket enabled, or as we call it, an e-ticket enabled carrier. You can click on the carrier. You can see some different features of the carrier. For example, this has an accelerated underwriting program. It's convertible and renewable. And then you can also see some different things like AM Best rating, stuff like that. But ultimately, when you're ready to start writing some business, we click on Get Started. I can then text a quote, email the quote, or start the e-ticket. If I click on e-ticket, it's going to open up my ticket. It's going to start with a pre-qualification. SBLI has some pre-qualification questions that are basically kind of like, hey, if you answer yes to any of these, you're not going to get through underwriting. So that's really helpful in like not going through the whole process and submitting it and knowing for sure that it's not going to go through. So if you answer yes to any of these, it's gonna give you a little message that says, hey, this is not going to be a good fit for your customer. But so we're going to leave them all no. Feel free to, if you want more details on this, you can always come back and look at this later, or reach out to our team. We're happy to talk through some of these things. I can also click on quote, see the quote that we quoted them down here at the bottom. We click next. Oops, I double clicked. We put in our proposed insured information. So I'm going to put in info here. And we're going to go through the whole thing so I can show you guys how easy this is. If you've seen our ticket before, you're probably familiar with it. Every carrier, as more carriers come out, you're going to see each carrier is going to be slightly different. Each carrier is going to have some different requirements as far as what questions they're going to ask and things like that. And that's all just based on their kind of underwriting methods and things like that. So select method of communication, phone, they want a cell phone. So we're just going to put in phone number here, best time to call. So you see some information is not required. Others is. Put in email address, driver's license. Driver's license not required, but if we have it, that's great. Driver's license state, we can say California. City of sale, say Corona, that's where I grew up. Is a proposed insured the owner? If not, we're going to put in the owner type. If it's yes, we just move forward. Does the applicant have existing life insurance policy or annuity contracts? Great. Oops. Whoops. Jumping around here. We go next. It's going to take us to some supplemental questions that we have to ask. It's pretty quick. And it takes about 5 to 6 minutes to go through this process with your customer. I think I should answer no to some of these, but this isn't going to go we're not actually going to send this application to the carrier. So we're going to select the billing mode. You can see there's 6 steps. You can see up here, it tells you how far along you are. So just in this little time, and what we've been doing this 2 or 3 minutes now, I'm mostly through. The agent code is required, but if they don't know their agent code, then you can put in just like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that'll and you can still submit it. The carrier is just going to reach out to you to make sure you get that agent code set up. So you can actually submit this with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 as the agent code. So that's just something to know. We go next. There's going to be a producer attestation. We have to select yes, accept. We click submit. And voila, I'm done. I've just submitted that to the carrier. This is going to go to that carrier call center. And then they'll reach out to the customer just like any other ticket process. So that's the process on my mobile phone. On the desktop, it's very similar. And I just want to mention that any of you who are current IXN customers, This costs you nothing extra. If you already have the IXN platform, whether it's the desktop or the mobile solution, we can add this for you for no extra cost. And I'll show you a screen here that'll give you some instructions on who to reach out to and things like that to get it set up. So here's our desktop solution. If you're a current customer, you've probably seen this before if you've done a demo with me or anything like that. Here's SBLI. We're going to click Get Started. There's this e-ticket solution here, and it's the exact same process. You can see, again, this is focused on user experience. You can see it's a little bit different as far as, on the mobile screen, we kind of sized it for the screen a little bit better, but here, there's going to be, you can see a little more because we've got more real estate now. So I can go through the process here and submit an application. We're not going to go through all the way through because we already did that, but it's the same exact user experience, whether you're on mobile or desktop. We just utilize the screen a little bit differently because we can do that. And then once that's submitted, you can actually go into the dashboard here. And from your dashboard, you can see all your tickets that have been submitted. So here's my ticket. You can see the ID. So if you need to reference it if you need to call over to the carrier. So this is the admin portal. But I can see what was quoted. I can see all the proposed insured information. That's not a good example because that one's not filled out all the way. Here we go. Here's one that was sent. You can see all the proposed insured information. This is the one I did on the phone. And you can see even the source. Hey, this came from my mobile app. So if you've got both our web platform and the mobile solution, you can see where tickets are being submitted from. And then some of the questions and what was answered. That's all managed here from the dashboard. And again, if any of you are interested in learning more about any of these products, or if you're a current customer and you just need a little bit more training or need a little more comfort level with these solutions, reach out to our support team. They're happy to help you with that. So yeah, that's ultimately the demo there. Now, if you are interested in getting set up with this, I'll just share this last slide here. If you're a current IXN customer, call into support. Oops, that's me. Call in. You can log into your dashboard, live chat with our support team. You can email support@ixntech.com or call our support. And then we have this link here. Oops, forgot I can't click that. That tells you kind of where, if you go to our support articles, there's a getting started with SBLI E-ticket that you can go to just kind of understand what you're going to need before getting set up here. Let me show you that real quick. So if you go to our website, there's a support tab up here at the top right. You click on support. It's going to take you to all our different support articles and trainings and things like that. Trying to remember where that is. It's going to be under, here, let's do this. Just search SBLI. Getting started. The first one should be getting started with SBLI ticket. Oh, it's under integrations. There it is. And this will give you some of the requirements, some of the things that you need. You're going to need like a code from SBLI and things like that. And this gives you kind of what you need there. So yeah, so that's the ticket process. If you're new to IXN and you haven't worked with the IXN platform before, or you aren't currently a subscriber to IXN, getting set up is pretty easy. Just reach out to me and we'll walk through the platform, see what's a good fit, and then go from there. And here's my contact information. So yeah, that's what I got.
All right, thanks, Lasse. That was great. And for someone who's not super technically adept like myself, I can walk through that, and I think it shows well. So thank you.
Yeah.
Maybe we take a minute. If anyone has any questions as we wrap up here, feel free to drop those into the chat. And let's see. There's one question here. I see Lasse. The question is, can a BGA do this on behalf of an agent?
Yes, actually you can. The BGA can do that with both our tickets that are there so far, SBLI and Protected.
Awesome. And then I think I know the answer to this question, but I'll let you answer it. So are there any safeguards that you need to download onto your phone to do applications on it?
Nope, no. So it's all behind the login portion of the app. And you have to put in like the customer's social and things like that in order to submit an actual application. You have to have your some different things set up. So you don't need any particular like antivirus software on your phone or anything like that. It's just you just need a login account to be able to submit those tickets.
Awesome. I think that does it for our questions. Unless anyone has any last minute questions you wanted to put into the chat, we're at the bottom of the hour, which is the amount of time that we asked you to commit for this webinar. So as of right now, I don't see any other questions. We'll watch for a few minutes to see if any do come in. We'll follow up with you individually, but just want to take a second and thank everyone again for joining us. Thank you, Lasse, for walking us through that. And please do come to our website, visit our support page. There's a lot of great information there, and it'll take you over to our YouTube channel where we'll post a link to this recorded webinar, and you can see others there as well with lots of different topics, including Life DX, which I know has been a big topic for a lot of people recently. So thanks again, and everyone have a great rest of your day.
Yep. See you guys.